Why don't companies pay their employees more when the company itself makes more? They don't have to, which means they will try as hard as they can not to. Some companies do, through bonuses, rewards, or otherwise non-monetary benefits. It depends on the character of the administration. Some businesses believe in squeezing as much efficiency as they can from their employees and reap economical benefits from it, while other businesses believe in building loyalty with their employees and reap other kind of benefits: morale, sympathy, collaboration, etc. The fact that both type of realities exist suggests me that there is no right or wrong way to conduct a business. Speaking about myself, I love what you're doing. Because more money for employees means less money for executives. Because the whole point is to make profit, not to break even every time trying to give the money back. I agree with the giving specific people raises part, but it's hard to make a general statement like that without now implying if the company didn't do so well, then the employees could also have their checks cut too. They do. It's called bonuses, profit sharing. Most companies don't because they want more money for a better bottom line. They can, but that would have to be agreed to before the start of employment. The company I worked for had profit sharing for all employees. It was a decent-sized company with over 5,000 people across several countries. HQ is in Switzerland, so I guess the work ethic is better. They also really took pride, and it's a great thing, that it's partners-owned and almost all partners are employees too. So there are some decent companies. But overall, capitalism. Companies don't have to, so they won't. By nature of capitalism, executives, shareholders take on both the risk and reward. Although if business is booming, they would certainly be raking it in. They lose money if business declines where employees' salaries stay the same. In order to be symmetric, then, you'd also expect them to cut employee pay when the company has a bad year. Right? Either that, or you pay your employees the minimum amount they'll work for, assuming that you can still make a profit in a bad year, and only have to pay out for a really good year. Reinvest in the company and other sectors to continue to be successful long term. They are run by greedy bastards, that is why. Because they have more than one employee and that gets expensive. Plus they have investors. They put money into the company and risked actually losing it at the chance of making a profit. So if the company makes more than it needs to in order to operate, that belongs to the investors. And that's the point of this company to begin with. Many companies do offer stock options, or actual company stock while employed. That essentially amounts to what you're doing, letting them in on the profit making. Salaries are rarely cut. Profits can go up or down. If salaries are raised when profits go up, they should be cut when profits go down. But if that happens, there is probably going to be a large employee turnover. Basically, because you cannot cut salaries by significant amount, you choose not to raise it by significant amounts in line with profits. This is why equity compensation is probably the most fair of all compensations. Up to some limits. Stockholders edit. Meant stockholders, but a-hole stockholders fits. A lot of companies wouldn't pay their workers a penny if they weren't legally obligated to. Many companies do, in the form of performance bonuses. Some don't because they are more profit-driven. I'd also ask the opposite question. If a company loses money, should employees automatically expect to be paid less? I do realize that this happens too and that layoffs occur when companies are not doing well financially. That isn't how capitalism works. In my experience, when a company does good, they set the bar higher and go cutting costs to further increase profits for the owners. I don't know how many times a company I have worked for has had record earnings only for the staff to be rewarded with pay cuts and downsizing. Because there are always more employees, but only a limited amount of profits for the shareholders. Some companies do. I worked at a warehouse years ago, and if they exceeded a certain quota with no injuries or any issues for the month, they would give us a gain share check. It was a major company with hundreds of employees, so it was an additional check of $150 for every employee. It's easier to do when you have a private business. You can run it however you like. Profit distribution is at your discretion. Public companies are bound to the mighty shareholders and regulators. About profit guidance, usually released quarterly. About growth and likely dividend payouts. Majority of the profits are for shareholders and C-suite, as most of their REM is share allocation. They couldn't care less about employees. That's why there is employee churn.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.